Stop worshiping men. He's different. Something is different. I was not crazy. You were crazy. You are still crazy. I have my water here, so you know that I'm about to talk, about to actually yap. So sit back and enjoy. I'm sorry if I'm not looking directly at the camera because my mirror is actually here, so please forgive me. But yeah, I'm a bit nervous because I'm not actually used to, talking in front of the camera. But I'm trying to learn because, boy, I have so much to say. Today's video, honestly, is dedicated to my my anxious attachment style girlies, because been there, done that, not the best place to be. Definitely not the best place to be. So I'm just going to call you out, drag you by your lace front, and tell you what you need to change now for you to save and rescue your dating life. Honestly, you guys should pray for me because I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack because anxiety is my biggest and worst enemy, and whenever I'm about to do something that I'm not used to, it's kind of like, it just makes me feel so scared. And bear with me, guys. I hope I get better at this as time goes on. I think the first thing about having an anxious attachment style is to recognize that you have an anxious attachment style. You know the girlies that are like, once a guy likes me and I start liking him back, that's when everything goes south. Let me tell you, there's no demon or village people that is just after your life, that is just trying to ruin your relationships. The truth is, the problem is you. I mean, yes, like, I love my girlies, and I would never want to blame my girlies, including myself, for things that happen, because if the world was a better place, even with our anxious attachment style, like, we would easily be loved the way we crave. But the world is not is unfortunately not a better place, and so that's why we need to like get with the program. Like, we need to get with the program and match the energy of the world, because that's the only way we can really like survive it, right? So the first thing is knowing that you have an anxious attachment style. Bro, nobody's out to get you. In the world, there's no village person that is waiting for you to start liking a guy back so that they will now attack. Okay, yes, let me prey on this relationship. You will suffer. Like, nobody's. Let's be honest. Nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck. I'm sorry. It sounds harsh, but to be quite honest with you, nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck. Your village people have more important things to think about, like your success and your destiny. That's so funny. But yeah, so it took me a while. I think I learned about my anxious attachment style either a year ago or 2 years ago, and I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense. This is exactly me. All these things are describing me. So okay, shots fired. And to be very honest, till today, it's still something I'm working on. Like, trust me, it's the devil, and if you don't fix it, it will ruin all your relationships. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I've had the number of situationships I've been in. Jesus Christ. If I had $1 for every situationship I've been in, who is Elon Musk? Who is Bill Gates? Who are these people? Who is Dangote? So many failed situationships, so many. And at a point, like recently, I had to sit myself down and like, okay, Glory. But Glory is my first name. Lots of people know me as Tammyreu, but my first actual name is Glory. I'm like, Glory, something is wrong. And we need to figure out what's wrong, because let me tell you, attracting a man has never been my problem. Like, getting men's attention. Like, I never even struggle for men attention, honestly. I could care less. And that's the thing about me. Like, when I'm single, I am good. Like, I'm single, I'm fine. I don't have any problem. But the moment, like, I start talking to a guy and he starts catching my interest and getting my attention, that's when everything goes left. And I've always wondered why. Okay, I know I have an anxious attachment style, but like in my head, like anybody that likes you, regardless, would like you no matter how you start attaching yourself to them, all right? That's what I used to think. But I was like, okay, this is not really a healed world, and things are not really ideal. So, like I said, you have to get with the program. So I started reading a lot of books and doing my research on an anxious attachment style. And that's when I realized a lot of things I've been doing have been very, very wrong and repulsive to these men. Now, please, if you're one of the people that are like, oh, okay, you don't have to change yourself, you don't have to do anything. If someone that likes you. Good and fine, thank you. You can scroll off, because trust me, I've had a lot of people that like me but still found a way out of my life. And I know you also say, oh, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Yes, I agree, but I believe that no matter how much we want to be ourselves in relationships, genuinely as women, sometimes we just do too much and we don't even realize we're doing too much. We just feel like, oh, I'm just a girl, like this is just normal things that women do and how women act. And you don't realize that what you're doing is actually what is affecting your situations. Oh my god, I'm almost out of this foundation. This foundation is so good and so expensive. It's MAC, so of course it's expensive, but oh my god, help me. I need to get another one soon. But yeah, we don't realize that, oh, it's what we're doing that's actually causing the problem and, causing these issues that we see. Oh my god, what the fuck did I do? Let me finish my brows first. In case my face looks weird at some point, just know that I'm on, my lens is on 0.5, not 0.5, but my lenses, I zoomed it out a bit so that I can effectively do my makeup while you guys still see me because of the angle of the camera. But yeah. So we never realized that, okay, this is, to be honest, like there's some things we just have to change. Like I know everybody just wants to be 100% how they are, but like at the same time, is it really who you are, or is it who your trauma made you? And sometimes you're thinking, well, I never had any trauma. I had a normal childhood. I grew up normal, like obviously like little things here and there that happens to every normal person going through life, but like there's nothing major that could have traumatized me to the point that I have an anxious attachment style and it's affecting my relationships. Like you don't know these things. Me personally, I look back and I'm like, why am I acting like this? Now I've established that I have an anxious attachment style. Why do I have an anxious attachment style? Like there's nothing that I've gone through that should make me have an anxious attachment style. But there was an app I downloaded recently. Is it like a mental health well-being app? Like it helps you like take tests to find out your traumas, your attachment style, your love languages, just a lot of things regarding your mental health, like find out if you have anxiety. The name of the app is called Breeze Wellbeing. You may have to pay for some features, but like I was really like emotionally disturbed at that point in time, so I paid for it. And I just wanted to know like why am I the way I am? Cause bruh, like my situationships, like it just kept getting worse and worse. Like at a point I could already predict when I start talking to anybody, I can already predict how it will end, because it was like a cycle, like a pattern, and I could already tell that, okay, this is what will happen. At the end of the day, they will stop talking to me. Probably they don't really ghost me, but like the energy always switches at some point. No matter how obsessed they are with me at the beginning, I always notice that at some point like the energy shifts and it's like I'm the one that is obsessed with them and they don't even care like that. I'm like, Jesus, like, why do they always do this to me? Like, bro, I didn't give a shit about you at the beginning. I didn't even care for you. Like, you literally disturbed me until I forced myself to give you a listening ear. And now, like, you're turning the tables? The fuck? Like, how dare you? Who gave you the right to do that? So, on the app, I took the test and did some, research. And I found out that the reason I have my anxious attachment style is not because most people's own is probably because, oh, they grew up in a broken home, or maybe, they were abandoned by their parents, or their parents didn't really have their time. All these things did not apply to me, so I still did not understand. But I think at some point I realized that mine was because, a little backstory, I grew up as like a very like excellent child. Like I was a star child. In school, I was always like top of my class. Anybody that knows me from like secondary, primary school can affirm this. I was always like top of my class. I was always given promotion, double promotion, and all of that. And like I was just so excellent in church because I was also like very active in church. So in church, I was also like always in competitions. I was always winning competitions. If I'm not first place, I'm second place. If I'm third place, I'm extremely sad. Just that's the kind of person that's how I grew up as a child. So, and my parents obviously loved me and they were so proud of me every step of the way because I was just such an excellent child. And I realized that that's where my own attachment style formed because I just grew up like needing validation from my parents because I just felt like, okay, they loved me because I was so excellent and I was just good at everything I did. I was literally good at everything as a child. And they just loved me so I felt like the more I do, the more I prove myself to them, the more they will love me and the more they will like cherish me, the more they will hold on to me like, okay, yes, I really love this child because she's just all these things. And I realized that that's why I had this problem. Okay, I think I've lost track of where I am in this story now. Now, let's even start with the signs that you have an anxious attachment style because that's where what we need to know first. How do you know you have an anxious attachment style? You're very clingy, you're very needy when you're talking to someone, especially even if you're not in a relationship, as long as you've got some sort of feelings for them. No matter how like aloof you were at the beginning, you start becoming very clingy, very needy. You always want them to text you. When they don't text you, you're having anxiety. You're wondering, like you're thinking of all the worst case scenarios. Oh my God, did something happen? Did he meet somebody? Has he lost interest? Is he like, what's happening? What did I do? Did I do something? Did I say something? Has he seen me in a certain way that has made him to start like, and then they'll come back some minutes or some hours later and like nothing happened. And then you're like, okay, whew. And then it goes on and on and on. And this happens obviously when you start liking the person. And then at a point, you'll notice that the person will actually, from your speculations, even though the speculations might have been initially being like false and just made up in your head, at a point you start actually manifesting it into your reality because they now eventually start acting up and acting weird and being a bit distant, and you're just like, I said it, I knew it, there was something wrong, shut up, there was nothing wrong. You and your anxiety manifested it literally, like you brought it into existence because you could not behave yourself and stay like a normal human being without waiting for somebody to come and validate you or somebody to text you 247. Like, relax, girl, relax. I understand that when you like somebody, you like them and you always now we need to learn how to relax. So that's one of the things that you know that, okay, have an anxious attachment. Also, if you're a woman that is a stalker, I had a stalking problem for years. I had to consciously stop myself, and even till today, here and there, I still have that urge to stalk whoever I'm talking with. So if you're a stalker, you most likely have an anxious attachment style. First of all, disclaimer, please, I'm not in any position. This is just from my own personal experience and personal findings and just discovery about myself. So I feel like there are other people that are like me as well. So this is just like, okay, from what I've experienced and from what I've seen and from what I've learned. But yeah, if it's something that is crazy, you still need to seek professional help and advice because yeah, a therapist or a psychologist will probably be in a better position. But yeah, if you're a stalker, you probably have an anxious attachment style as well. Yeah. So you know how this thing, there's some people, aka me, some habits I used to have that once I start talking to you, I monitor your follower count. I monitor who you follow, whose pics you like. Oh my god, I said pics. Am I like 40? Those pictures you like which girl you're commenting on. First of all, as a man, if you're talking to someone like seriously, it's very disrespectful to like and comment. Like okay, fine, but like comment, you put in the effort. Like me too, sometimes I just like, I'm just scrolling, I just, oh, like, cool, cute, nice, I like. But the fact that you tapped it, you allowed it to load, you selected the comments your keyboard popped up, you used your hand and you started typing words, or even if it's emojis or an emoji, you put in that much effort and you press send. Huh. Wow. A lot of effort and thought went into that, and you're very suspicious, you're a suspect. But yeah, no, generally, like, if you're monitoring his likes, his following, you're snooping around his phone. I can't even snoop around him. I don't even want to know. Like, the point I am in life now, I don't want to know. I just give in to trust, because that shit ruined, messed with my mind. I'll snoop and I'll find exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly what I'm looking for. So don't snoop. I don't recommend, honestly. Don't snoop. I'm trying to do like a smoky effect, but I don't have any black eyeshadows, so I'm just using my black pencil and like trying to smoke it out. That's my hack, you guys. You're welcome. So yeah, if you have those habits of stuff, whether you like it or not, you have an anxious attachment style, because if you don't, you'll not be obsessing over who he's following and why he's following them and stuff like that. You'll just be free, live your life. Another thing is, that thing that they say when I start talking to someone and now suddenly my whole day is already ruined at 9 a.m. Yep, you have an anxious attachment style, because why is your day being ruined by someone else, especially someone that is not your like actual partner? And even if you're dating, like, still, it's not your husband. Like, girl, get a life. I'm sorry, it's maybe harsh. It's the hard truth. Like, and as I'm telling you this, I'm not just telling you, I'm telling myself as well, because these are things I still try, like, I still battle with, and I'm still trying to work on. So as I sound harsh, it's all from a place of love, because sometimes we just need to hear the harsh truth and tell ourselves the truth, honestly. So yeah, if your whole day is ruined in the morning because you woke up and you did not see a message, or the message you saw did not satisfy you enough, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? Or maybe they said something and you didn't like what they said, and you woke up to that message and you're just like, fuck me. Pardon my language. Then girl, you definitely have an anxious attachment style that needs to be worked on, because no man should have that much power to ruin your day because of what they did or what they did not do, especially when, like I keep saying, he's not even your husband. Because honestly, as far as I'm concerned, if he's not your husband, then he's not your man. Like, he's your man, but he's not your, like, he shouldn't have that much effect on, even if he's your husband, honestly. Like, obviously you have more of a right to have issues with a lot of things, but still, you still need to have that emotional control, that that, okay, yes, like, I'm in charge of my life and nobody calls the shots but me, right? Also, if you find yourself, like, as much as I'm an assertive person and I don't take rubbish from anybody, even if it's a man, and like, if he does something that I don't like I say it, like, don't fucking do that. At the same time, like, if you catch yourself somehow being a people pleaser or a pick me to a guy that you're talking to, you most likely have an anxious attachment style, because you just want to avoid anything that would make him leave you or make him lose interest in you. So sometimes, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't want a particular thing, you just like, okay, to avoid wahala, you try to avoid arguments. You try to, even when you're genuinely not okay with something, you're picking your words. You're like, obviously be conscious of the words you speak and how you speak them to someone you're talking to, but you're not speaking your mind. You're not being honest with yourself. You're avoiding some kind of conversations just because, like, you feel like if you have them, he'll probably lose interest in you. You're bending to his will. You're something is not convenient, but because of him and because you want to please him, you still do it anyway, right? That is definitely an anxious attachment style. I love to drench my face in water. I don't know what this does, but I genuinely feel like it does something when you're doing your makeup, because my face just doesn't feel as dry and it just feels more refreshed, and I feel like it just helps your skin just feel and set better for the product to actually just lay on your skin. Honestly, there's nothing in this bottle, it's just water. I'm out of setting spray, and I never got, since I ran out of my last setting spray. I've just been using water, and honestly, it works perfectly. I mean, except you have a long day and you actually need a fixing spray, then that's fine. But yeah, also, if you're one of those girls that you sly your friends because you want to be with a man, I laugh at you, my dear, because those friends are the people you will still go back when he has shown you, go back to when he has shown you pepper. So my dear, I'm to give you one advice: never prioritize your man over your friends. I mean, obviously there's some exceptions, like sometimes that, okay, you have to show up for him, but if you already made plans with your friends, you're already with your friends, and he just comes and something comes up, and if it's not so important, please stay with your friends, honestly, because it's not fair to your friends. You're neglecting your friends because you are putting this man on a pedestal. Putting a man on a pedestal, first of all, is in fact, that's the first wrong thing you can do, because you're supposed to be on that pedestal and it's not the other way around. Ignore my I had to pinch it off because the top wasn't, the foundation was just so sticky and so much there, and it wasn't allowed. No matter how much I wash it, like, it's just there and it was affecting my blending, so I had to pinch it off. So ignore it, please. I have two though, but this is just a softer one, so I still like it. Like I was saying, please don't choose any man over your friends. So when you already have, I'm not saying like, oh, if you're like, there's sometimes like you have to weigh like the options, like the level of importance and all of that. But when you know that genuinely like the thing is not that important and it can wait, it should wait, because that's the beginning of your problems. When you start making him too important, and then you start neglecting the other things in your life that are important, even your hobbies, like all you want to do is just be around him, man. You're just thinking that, honestly, this table I'm shaking, I sit very comfortably. Like, it's something I'm unlearning now, but like I used to sit heavily, spread my legs on this table, cross my legs, and just balance on this table, because once my man calls me, I tell my friends, sorry, I'm gone. I never realized what I was doing until I saw that at the end of the day, the guy will still leave you and you'll be left with your friends. And like, that's so dumb. Honestly, if I'm my friends, I'll be like, you're so stupid. You're coming back to me. Please go back to your man. You want to stay. You always want to pick your man. Pick him now that he has left you. Don't come and now use me as second option, because it's not fair to your friends, honestly. Like, because when you're going through, if anything happens, they're the ones you go to. Oh, he did this, he did that. But when you guys were talking, you didn't have your friends' time. We need to stop doing that. It's just, we don't do that anymore. Okay? I love blushing. I'm so blush blind. My sister literally insults me that I use too much blush, but is it my fault? Can you blame me? Blush is so beautiful. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. Okay, now with the things I've stated, you know that you have an anxious attachment style. Now let me tell you how and why it's ruining your relationships and what you can do to fix it. First of all, you have to consciously discipline yourself. Like, you have to make the conscious efforts. Like, the way this thing has been ingrained in you, that to you it's normal to just obsess over the person you're talking to, and it didn't happen in one day. It's something that has been ingrained in you for years. Ingrained. I'm an Edo girl, my accent slips up all the time. But these are things that have been ingrained in you for like years. So unlearning this will not happen in one day. So you have to be very patient with yourself, because sometimes you'll still sleep. Till today, I still sleep sometimes. I still catch myself like my mood being like so. Sorry, my storage was full and I had to go delete some things. But yeah, I hope I'm starting from where I stopped. Because what I was saying is that even till today, there's still sometimes my mood is like ruined because the person I'm talking to did not text me, or maybe the way he said good morning is different from the other days, and like, do you get things like that, petty things like that. and I just spiral and I'm just thinking. And what that does is that not only is it that you're allowing your emotions control you, because you can't even now have a normal happy day because somebody did not send you happy good morning the way you expected. That will also cause you to spiral and therefore like manifest what your greatest fear is. Because let me tell you something about men that I've seen personally, or let me tell you about anxiety and what it does and how it makes like pushes men away, like anxious attachment style, not just anxiety, like that particular attachment style. What it does is, because I've analyzed it, I'm like, okay, this is what happens. So you know how when you start catching feelings, you now start overthinking everything, yeah? And you start reading meanings into everything they say or do not do. That's the beginning of the end. And that's why your biggest fear is always like manifested when they now really maybe start changing their energy towards you, and you're saying, I said it, I knew it. You didn't knew anything. You didn't knew anything. It was you that did it. And you don't know that you're the one that did it, but you're the one that did it. That's just the truth. Because what that does is that you start like over analyzing everything, every little thing. You start picking fights. Me, I pick fights a lot. You start picking fights and you start like having issues with everything. One, maybe they didn't put comma, they didn't put a heart emoji. Oh, all of a sudden, like your world's upside down. You want to fight, you want to jig it. And then what that does now is that it makes you react more, because the more you're observing that, okay, why didn't he say this way? You now react, you start giving an attitude, you start being sassy, you start being annoying, you start causing fights every day. There's one thing to fight about, another thing to fight about, and it just starts like going in that towards that direction. And then from the angle of men, once they start feeling like, okay, you're draining them emotionally and mentally, they start like pushing away, because like, okay, why is everything a problem? Like, why are we having fights every day over things? Even sometimes when they try, they apologize, or you will still always find something else to pick on, and it just keeps going on and on. And at a point, they're just like, at a point you start noticing that their energy is shifting, and you now start thinking, I said it, I knew it. I said it at the beginning. He's different. Something is different. I was not crazy. You were crazy. You are still crazy. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And I'm telling this to myself as well, because it's not like it was doomed to fail and it's just a cycle that just keeps happening. It's just because of your consistent negative behaviors and negative thought patterns that obviously like reflects in your actions and inactions, and just goes ahead to affect the relationship. Because when you now start doing all those oversabi, you're fighting every day, you're angry every day, you have an attitude every day, except you just see a man that just like is extremely obsessed with you. Maybe he also has attachment issues, and you guys are just, or he's just a very very like masculine man that knows that okay, this is what is going on, this is why this person is the way she is, and I'm going to stay here and love her the way she deserves to be loved, because I can just see that she's just crying to be loved. Yeah, then you're lucky and I love it for you. Well, most of the men are not like that, let me just tell you. And once they start seeing that, okay, you have a problem with everything, they start drifting away, because nobody wants that. When they say, okay, men want peace of mind, that's the truth, they want peace of mind. They do. And I'm not giving this advice to anybody that doesn't care about fixing their attachment style and how it's ruining their relationships. If you're just a normal person that doesn't give a shit and you just want to criticize and say, oh, okay, why are we so obsessed about what men want? Please just leave, because you're not the target audience. Because the people that are watching this video to learn, they know exactly what I'm talking about, and they know that, okay, there's something that needs to be worked on about them, and they've acknowledged that, and that's why they're here. So if that's not you, honestly, you're good, so you don't even need to be here. Respectfully, because I don't want negative comments. This should be a very healthy conversation, and I just want the girls that are like me or were like me to be seen right? Because at the end of the day, even when everybody forms, like, okay, we don't need men, we don't need this. Yeah, we don't need men, but most of the time we want them. There's a point that you just like want to have your person, like not anybody that is shared. Like you just want my person. I just want my person. Do you get? So if you're at that point and you see that okay, something is affecting that, like something is not allowing me have that, then okay, you have to start saying, okay, what can I do? What is it? What's the problem? So that's what this video is for. So yeah, that's the real reason why the relationships end up like fading out, and then you're just like, oh, I said it, you didn't say anything. It's just your reactions that cause that should I say domino effect. And that's why you need to learn the important things when it comes to having that kind of unhealthy attachment style. So let me share with you guys some tips that I learned that I'm like applying in my relationships, and that have made me like notice a shift, at least a slight shift in just how these things go and unfold. So the number one thing is, most people are like, okay, when these things happen, they don't want to, they're like, okay, I'm not going to allow myself to catch feelings again. Oh yeah, you'll still catch feelings. That's just the truth. If you're like anything like me, you would still catch feelings, no matter how you're trying to delude yourself. Oh, I'm not going to catch feelings again. This is what happens when I catch it. You'll still catch feelings. So it's better you just learn how to work on that part of yourself, so that once you catch feelings again, nobody plays in your face or nobody makes you feel less than, and you know you're good. So one thing I would advise is that first of all, you have to learn discipline. Like it's not something that happens in one day overnight. You have to learn, like you have to be conscious about it. You know, when you start liking someone and they message you, and there's my Instagram explore is filled with all these kind of related memes, because like I always like see them and I like them because I can relate to them. So you know how they say once they didn't reply me for 7 hours, and so I take my 3 minutes and I reply to get my something like that, like, oh, and then I reply after 3 minutes, and it's like, oh, that 3 minutes is like you've done your best, like that's you getting revenge for not being replied in like hours. Your own is 3 minutes that you can do. That's how bad it is. And that's how I was too. No matter what, like once you've reached out to me, hey, I'm like, oof, okay, let me wait. Every 2 seconds I'm checking the message. Okay, 1 more minute, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, I'll reply. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Bro, they left you on red for 7 hours. Have you no shame? Have you no shame? Have you no self-respect? So you have to learn how to discipline yourself and be able to say, nope, yes, this message is here on my phone and I'm very eager to respond. But what does that make me? What does that do to me? What does that make me? What kind of woman does that make me? A woman with no shame and no pride. Take your time. Honestly, when they say reciprocate the energy that a man gives you, that's the truest and the realest thing ever. Because if he's taking hours to reply, you have to, if you can even double it. I know it might be hard. Okay, let's say, okay, you don't have to start counting, but take your time. That's something I've literally been doing these days. I've literally been learning it. I see the message and like, obviously, like I'm happy. Okay, he texted me, yay. I want to reply, I'm like, Glory, take your time. Take your time. They took their time before they replied you. Take your time. If not, you know how this goes. Take your time. Oh. And the beautiful thing about doing that is that at a point you start getting used to it. It starts feeling natural, Initially, you'll be like, oh my God, but I want to reply now. What if I take my time and then now they'll now reply another extra 7 hours later? Now, we are now talking once in 2 days because of, I know. Those are the things that go through my head too, I know. But let me tell you the truth. If the guy actually likes you, that doesn't push him away. That doesn't make him like, okay, you are doing your own me too. Except he's just a very, 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 very immature and unserious person. Oh, Yeah, so you can, this is me, okay, now me too, I will take longer to reply. Now let's both be doing. That's very stupid, and I don't think any serious man would do that. So you have nothing to fear when it comes to that. Oh, what's it because I don't reply now? He will also now like start. Do you get? As long as that's the energy he's giving you, it's different if you're now overdoing it when he's even texting you normally. That's not what I'm advising. I'm advising that just give him the energy he gives. If he takes years to reply, you take your own years. Don't now go and do Wasabi and reply in 2 minutes. I beg in the name of God. Because that thing will never work out and you end up looking stupid and feeling stupid. I'm so passionate because I have experienced this too many times. So trust me, I know. And genuinely, let me tell you, it gets easier. Like, it genuinely gets easier because once you're like, okay, I want to reply so bad. Like, you have to be conscious about it. It's not something that just happens overnight. You have to, like, I literally talk, the things I tell myself, I literally talk myself out of that. Like, okay, don't reply. Don't reply. You have to do it consciously until the point that you don't have to do it consciously anymore. And then when you start getting busy naturally, you would even like forget that you've not replied. Like, oh shit, okay, I can reply now. I even forgot that I haven't replied. That's one thing that I do that helps. Another thing that you need to do is you need to get busy. Like, get busy. Like, don't be sitting down there waiting for somebody to text you every day. Get busy. Find something to do. The busier you are, the easier it is to have a healthier attachment style because you're not just sitting down obsessing over that message. If they've not replied, you go and do something that you need to do. Go and do it. Just get yourself busy. When you're okay, they've not okay, let me go and do something. And before you know, you check your phone later when you're not even conscious of it and you see that okay, they've messaged you. And that just makes it easier. And over time you get used to it, your body acclimatizes. But yeah. So just get yourself busy. Be busy. Go out, have fun, go with your friends, get a hobby, read a book, watch something on YouTube, do something, go on a walk, listen, dance, I don't know, make TikTok videos, do something. Another thing I do that helps is like affirmation is the last thing I was going to say, but yeah, let me just chip in here. Affirmations, obviously, go on Pinterest, go on TikTok, you will see a lot of like affirmations for anxiety. Just remind yourself every day that you are enough, you are loved. You don't need to change, you don't need to do anything. Like you don't need to struggle to be loved the way you desire. Like love comes to you easily. You're worthy, you're enough. Just these things. Like I have affirmations I say to myself every time I remember, anytime I'm feeling down, so yeah, those help as well. And then what I was going to say is that you have to be conscious about doing the exact opposite of what your past self or your anxiously attached self would do. So that's something that helps me a lot. Like I literally talk to myself, and in some situations, maybe in an argument or when maybe he does something and I want to react to, or he doesn't do something I wanted or I expected and I want to react in a particular way, I start thinking my anxious attached self, because like I like to tell myself that I'm a new person, so that makes me embody the type of person I want to be instead of the old person I was. So like, what would your old self do? What would your past self do? How will you react? Like, okay, I'll cuss him out. I'm just like being very honest with myself. This is what I would do if I'm not trying to change anything about myself. I'll cuss him out. Things I know that I've done in the past that ended up like that made me end up with the situations I ended up in. I'll think about it. Okay, normal me, I will cuss him out, I'll tell him this, or I'll block him, or I'll go and do this, I'll go and do just something crazy because like I can do a lot of weird things. I'm like, okay, now do the exact opposite of that. That thing has changed my life. Just stop. Anytime you want to react, anytime you want to start overthinking or crying or do something impulsively because that thing makes you so impulsive, just stop. What would my old self do? Because obviously you're a new person now, you're trying to be a new person. So what would my old self do? Would I text? Would I call? Would I spam their phone? Would I show up in their house? Now do the exact opposite of that. That's your answer. You have to be conscious about it. Like, what would I do? I literally stop myself. What would I have done? Like the old me. Okay, I'm going to do the exact opposite of that. And I don't do it. Would I have insulted him? Don't insult. Don't say much. Just say something very simple. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's not what I would want to do. But I'm trying to embody this new person that is not obsessed and not crazy. and I'll do the exact opposite of what my old self would do, and that is a game changer. Also, read a lot of books, check a lot of self-help and podcasts, YouTube channels. There are lots of them. I will put the ones that I watch personally that have helped me grow to be at the point where I am today. I'll put them in the description. Podcasts, TikTokers, YouTubers. I'll just talk about these things and give like helpful tips and just point you in the right direction. Especially from people that have been there before. I love listening to people that have experienced something and have come out of it, because I know that, okay, if they can, I can too. So yeah, I'll put all of that in the description so that you can check them out yourself. The way you know too straight contour. Hey, I'm literally contouring. Also, I just want to chip it in there. Stop worshipping men. Stop worshipping men. Stop worshipping men. They should worship you instead. It should come naturally. Stop worshipping men. And have you noticed that most of these musicians, when they're singing about women and their love songs, the guys, they always sing about women that, that I was not replying their text, I wasn't calling their phone. I'm not saying be toxic, but you need to learn how to reciprocate energy. If they give you 1, give them 10. If they leave you for 1 day, leave them for 2 days. If they now start giving you all the attention, you can now start giving them attention. Just match their energy. Never outdo a man. Never go and outdo over, sorry. They're always so obsessed with women that stand on business. See how they're always crying and begging in their stuff. Oh, she's not texting me back, she's not picking my phone, she's not picking her phone, she's not doing that. It's because that's what they like. Okay, I'm not saying that do it unnecessarily, but once they start acting funny, you need to know how to give them space. That's when their brain resets. Okay? Hey, get men, I'm not even Igbo, but the song is tapping. Anyway, this is the final look. I'm going out to shoot content today. That's why I'm dressed like this. Yeah, don't forget, ladies, stay classy, stay demure. Don't obsess over nobody that isn't obsessing over you. And, keep it cute. Send this video to someone that you know is struggling with an anxious attachment style. And if this is for you, then you're welcome. Let me know if this helps. And let me know what else you want to see me talk about. All right, guys. Bye. I love you.